All right. So, Max, Spencer, Chelsea, Shaed is here. First of all, thank you for taking time to speak with me today. This is a big day for Shaed, and the fact that you carved out a little time to talk to your very good friend Roche means a lot to me. So, thank you guys.
Of course,
man. Anytime.
DC 101 is our, we love DC 101. So anything.
Well, and you guys cut some really great stuff for us for our walk for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So thank you very much for your contribution to that. Really appreciate it, and thank you for help raising awareness for that really, really important cause. We appreciate that, especially, again, you guys have a lot going on, so we really appreciate that as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
Very important.
And now I think it's time we get to the serious stuff. What made us decide to cut all of our hair? That's the pressing question on my mind.
I think we just needed, quarantine started, and I kind of wanted to cut my hair anyways, and I just was like, screw it, we're doing it. And so Spencer did it. Spencer did it first.
Spencer just wanted to look like me. That was really what it was.
So I was gonna ask you, Max. It's like, come on now. You've been the long-haired guy, and I've been the short-haired guy. Now you're on my look.
I've tried to tell them for years that this was the future of Shaed, but they wouldn't listen to me somehow.
Now Max.
And now they full on embrace it.
Max has the longest hair in the group now.
I know. Look at this. I'm like got the locks more than these guys.
Crazy. It's crazy. So Spencer, you went first, and then Chelsea, you're just like, all right, if everybody's doing it, I'll do it too.
Yeah, I surprised Spencer. I had to have Max in on the surprise because I needed him to help me coordinate this. But yes, I kept telling Spencer, I was like, I probably won't cut my hair until like end of August, like September. And so I snuck out, somehow convinced him that I was running some errands. We do everything together, so it's hard to be like a little bit like sneaky.
Hard, yep.
And so I snuck out, I got my hair cut, and then we met at a restaurant outside. We sat outside, and I rolled up, and I just had I was still getting used to it myself, so I was like, oh God.
Chelsea was like texting me. She's like, it looks terrible. It looks awful. I'm like, no, it looks
I was
great.
like, I don't know if this is working.
Dude, it was such a shock. But come on, I mean, I am her husband, so I'm biased, but dude, I think she looks amazing.
And she loves it now, right?
Yeah, I will never go back, honestly.
But you can't say that, Chelsea. You can't say I'll never go back.
Coming from the person that has definitely had a lot of hairstyles this past couple of years, but being able to get out of the shower and do nothing is amazing. So I will say, I'm loving the low maintenance.
A barbershop is much cheaper than a hair salon, I would imagine.
Yes.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So look, you guys did some stuff during the pandemic. We talked, the three of us, or the three of you and I talked way back in April, it might have been. And I didn't know that we would still be kind of doing the same thing that we were doing in April now. I don't know if you guys thought that as well, but it wasn't just the hairstyles that we switched up. At some point, you guys made the decision, we got to go and record stuff. Or was this stuff done? Was this the stuff that you guys were working on in January before the now aborted European leg?
Well, at the beginning of the summer last year, we had a group of songs that were basically for an album. And, Trampoline has opened so many doors for us. So we were working with a lot of top producers, top songwriters, and, in between breaks, we were writing with people. And so we had kind of like this mash of album-worthy songs, but they didn't really fit and they didn't really tell our story. So right before quarantine, we were just like, we gotta burn these. So
we scrapped everything.
We scrapped everything.
We scrapped them all, yeah.
And we started writing again. And then quarantine happened, and we were like, the silver lining of all of this was we were able to just like hunker down and write. Because if that hadn't happened, we would have been traveling for the rest of the year, and I don't know that we would have gotten, anything done like we have now. So now we have songs that we've written. I think there's one song that we wrote right before quarantine, but everything else is a quarantine song that we've written and recorded here. We've all moved. So Max got a house before quarantine, moved in. When we talked, we were living with my parents, Vince and I.
Yeah,
and so we're
that's
Well,
finally,
that was going to be my next question was how long did that last? Because I knew as soon as you said that, you're like, we're all happy here. And I'm like, all right, I'll check in with them in a couple of months. See how they're doing.
yeah.
we were there until May. So we moved in, I think like March-ish. And then May, we moved into our new house. So
Which
we
is
had
where
a
we are
blast.
now.
Yeah.
We're in Chelsea's little office for little arts and crafts.
We're in my arts and crafts
Room.
studio. It's like a disaster. Don't look. But the lighting is best right now. We
Yeah, we actually recorded No Other Way at her parents' house.
yeah, so that
So
song
the one, I think right when we talked to you in April,
Yeah.
I think in April, that's when that song started. I think that's when we got the wheels turning on it. So
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
very funny because my parents, their house, basically we just plopped down in the living room and set up a studio and did vocals in there when we were recording. So
we're like Scott's getting home in like 30 minutes. And
I was like, we gotta hurry up and get these vocals.
We're tracking
Yeah.
vocals, and then he comes through the door, and we're like, Scott, just hold on a second, man. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, because my parents,
You know,
we're still going to work.
that's
so,
that's
yeah.
big time record. Yeah, that's big time record producing right there. It's just high
Oh,
tech,
no!
high level.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess like you guys have been doing the DIY thing. I don't want to say before it was cool, but before it became really, really the way that musicians are recording now. And I don't know if people would be able to be churning out music over the last 6 to 8 months if the DIY sound or the DIY style of recording hadn't kind of come to fruition. So in a lot of ways, you're much more blessed than say older bands who are used to doing it in a traditional way, because you can't do it in a traditional way right now.
Yeah, when we first started, I mean, we were as DIY as it comes, and we were just so poor that we could not even afford to rent a studio. And, you know, just being able to have a studio in your house and be like, oh, we need to get this vocal, let's run downstairs real quick and get it, or whatever. It's just so convenient and so us, just like perfect for our situation. And, you know,
we were doing like all, folk stuff before Chelsea joined, and we had like a drummer and all these things. And then we just, when we started really writing this kind of style music with Chelsea, 6 years ago, that was like we just started doing everything ourselves, and it's really served us well during this time for sure.
I have to think, I just have visions in my head of when you guys were apartment living. Max and Spencer, you guys can probably just plug in and do everything in headphones. Chelsea actually has to sing to lay down vocals. I can just imagine people in the other apartments just going, oh my God, is she singing again? Can we please keep it down? So I guess it's good to have your own place now that you don't have to worry about bothering anybody, including your parents.
Yes.
Including our parents. Well, we actually we always had a house situation. So we rented a house together. So we never were in an apartment, but we have done like a hotel recording situation.
Lay down.
We definitely bumped it up. Like, these guys are not afraid to turn up the music. I am. So when we were at our rental, these guys would be blasting music. And there was an old man that lived beside us, and I felt really horrible for him. But I actually think that he maybe couldn't hear because we never got a complaint or anything like that.
Yeah, I feel bad because I live in a row home in DC. And like we were tracking vocals in my house like a couple of times, and we were like bumping the music loud. And my neighbor, who I love, he texted me the next morning. He's like, I heard music coming through the wall at like 1 a.m, like, have mercy, please, Max. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, Rana, I'm so sorry.
You're like, you just moved in here.
Terrible.
You're already
awful. He literally said, have mercy. I'm like, oh God. It's pretty bad. But so we try not to record in my house.
Well, yeah, I mean, row home living is, that's the city. Next time he's just going to pound on the wall and just give you the, hey man, let's go.
I'd rather him have done that than ask me for mercy. So
yeah,
we'll see. But,
oh dear.
Yes. So let's talk No Other Way. We've been blasting it today on DC 101 every few hours. I told you guys, and were really nice to give us a kind of a preview heads up of what the song was going to sound like. And I hit you back and I was like, this is a great song. And just to bring people behind the scenes, I immediately said we're adding this song to the playlist because it's Shaed. We're all friends and we want to support the project as much as possible. But how has it been? I know I've been following you guys on your socials, especially on Twitter. The excitement for today was building for today, and now today is here. What's it been like for you guys, and are you getting any initial response from fans or industry people on the debut, the world premiere of the new song?
I think that it's been such a long time coming. You know, everyone knows us for Trampoline, and just it's been a lot of pressure and, you know, anxiety on our end to follow that up. And being able to scrap the songs that we had previously and really like get to know ourselves again and write was so amazing for us. And so to release a song that is so true to us and true to the times, we've been getting amazing feedback, which has been really, really great. Support of DC 101, of course, and iHeart for sure. So it's just been nothing but good things, which is really nice.
Thank you guys for blasting.
Yeah, seriously,
for blasting the track. And we did get a global premiere from iHeart, which was like incredible. So there's all stations all over the country that are playing the song, and so it's just great to see the song resonating with people already.
Yeah.
You guys are in the area. I know that, and I'll tell you how I know in just a second. I don't know if you've had DC 101 on today, knowing, and this is the good thing about global premieres is you know that we play the song every 3 hours. So have you had a chance to hear the song on the radio yet?
We did.
We got on the Mike Jones hour and we definitely listened. So great. It was funny. We actually just all piled into the car in the driveway and blasted it. We probably annoyed all of our neighbors, but yeah, it was so cool and so surreal. You know, we've been working on this song for the past couple of months, and just to hear it on the radio is so cool.
So we go to build.
You gotta do. Go ahead, Spencer.
I was just gonna say that you know, we live in Falls Church, Chelsea and I, and Mike Jones lives in Falls Church as well. So I don't know if you're getting to this, but we got the privilege of having a couple of drinks with him at the shop, Settle Down Easy. So
and his wife Carrie as well.
And his wife Carrie. So Roche, we gotta step it up, man. We gotta get a hang together.
Yeah, Spencer, that's what I was kind of getting to was I'm hearing from John. Hey, I was just hanging with the kids from Shaed at Settle Down Easy, and they're really excited. And I'm like, all right, dude, can you not just name drop all over the place? It's just ridiculous. So I have to take a little exception with you guys because I don't need Mike Jones having more juice than I do, because then he walks around going, yeah, you know, we were at Settle Down Easy just having a couple of drinks. It was NBD. So please, no more hangs with Jones without me, all right?
All right. From here on out.
You're next.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's
I love
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
But I was going to say that I'm glad you guys went to the car, because there is a different experience. You know, you can bring up the iHeartRadio app, or you guys can literally just bring up a recording of the song. But it's different sitting in the car, having the radio on, and then just hearing the song come on. It's just a different mindset than if you're just sitting in your house.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely.
wild.
I mean, we listened to it too in the same car that we actually Max he just got a new car, so that was cool. But we listened to part of it in the same car that we heard Trampoline on the radio for the first time. So there was also, we tried to kind of bring it full circle, and yeah, it's just, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
There's just like a certain sound when it comes through the radio that's just different than any other sound. It's hard to explain, but it's just a certain compression or whatever it is, but it's cool.
Okay, so to your technical ears, that compression that you hear, that it's probably not what you hear as you guys were recording it or listening to it back. Are you okay with that? Because as technical people, you might be like, you know what? I actually mixed this.
No, it's cool. It's just like a little. You can't put your finger on it. It's just
like
sounds
nostalgia or something. Like it's just like.
Yes,
you know.
that's what it is. Yeah, and there's no button you can press to put nostalgia on a track.
Right.
Yeah, I wish there was. Yeah,
it's cool.
So Chelsea, I'm sure you've heard your voice, your singing voice, numerous times probably at this point. But since you said you were listening to Jonesy earlier when he played when he world premiered No Other Way, you heard yourself introing the song. So I asked this question of a lot of people because as a guy who talks on the radio, I'm used to hearing my speaking voice. But when people hear their speaking voice, they're always like, is that what I sound like?
Oh, yeah.
So what was it like hearing your speaking voice rather than your singing voice on the radio?
I definitely hear my speaking voice differently, I would say. So when I come on the radio and I'm like, hey, it's Chelsea from Shaed, thank you very, I definitely feel, it definitely feels crazy. I have like a low voice anyway. So it's always just I'm like, oh, that's me.
Yeah. Chelsea's always had a raspy voice. Her mom, what'd she say? You sounded like you were smoking a pack of cigarettes.
Oh yeah, no, my parents would, when I was like 3 years old and I was speaking, or maybe 5 years old, I would say, and speaking, my mom would be like, oh yeah, she smokes 10 packs a day because my voice was deeper than it is now when I was a kid. So weird.
You put it to good use, so that they probably don't have a problem.
Yeah. Right.
Did I read somewhere, and this might have been a mistake in whatever presser was released? Is this song? This is what this said. The song off of their upcoming debut album. That's not a thing, right?
That's right. Yeah, this is
that
our
is
first.
right.
That's our first album.
All right, so hang on. So all right. So this is why I have to ask. I've heard like 10 songs from Shaed, and you're telling me that you guys have never had an album. I know there's a difference between an album and an EP, but this is really the first time you put a full collection of songs together and released it?
Yeah, it's crazy. We were, like we said, we were ready to go with another one. And, Trampoline was just, when that song exploded, we had just the craziest year and a half really of just touring and it was hard to find time to write. And then when we did, it just didn't feel authentic. So like, I think, that was such a valuable experience being on the road and playing all over the world and like across the United States, but it definitely was difficult to find time to write. So, but I mean, like Chelsea said, we're just so excited about this batch of songs, and this is just the first one of many. We got so many more in the pipeline, and we just can't wait to share with everybody. So it's great.
Roche, we've got a Macedonian string orchestra on the entire album. So,
and also on No Other Way.
I'm sorry.
If you listen to No Other Way very closely, you can hear lots of strings.
There's a lot of strings in there. So we're excited about that too.
Okay. Max, walk me through how this comes to be, because you just said we recorded most of these during the pandemic. Yeah. So I'm assuming a full orchestra traipsed through Chelsea's parents' house, laying out tracks for the
album. We flew to Macedonia a couple months ago. No, I'm kidding. We had a couple songs. So there's a song that's coming out next, either late November, early December, called Once Upon a Time. And that song is like a big ballad. And Spence and I were using a lot of like string samples to create the soundscape of the song. But we were like, this song really deserves, it would be great to have real strings on the song. So we found an arranger who he did the last Angel Olsen album. I don't know if you know that one, but he did all those arrangements, and he worked up an arrangement for that song. And then after he'd done that, we were like, how are we going to record 13 string players, cellist, violinist, viola players? How are we going to do this in the pandemic? And he had worked with this Macedonian string orchestra in the past. And we ended up zooming into a beautiful studio in Northern Macedonia with 13 players, a conductor named Olaf.
Everyone was separated.
They all had masks on, and it was great. But we just in for 3 hours, and they tracked on No Other Way and the song Once Upon a Time, and we're having them record on the whole album. So it's cool. It's a cool little thing we're excited about.
It's sweet, yeah.
So here's what I'm excited about for you guys is the DVD of you, when this is all over, actually flying to Macedonia to perform these songs live.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
No,
I know.
No, You've got to tell the label,
later
this
on.
is awesome. Now we've got to actually do it live, but we got to be there. So you're going to have to send us over to Macedonia.
That's a good idea. And Roche, you're coming with us.
Yeah, you're gonna.
All
You're
right.
gonna
By the way, I'm going to remember you said that, Spencer, so that when I see the Instagram pictures of you and Jonesy in Macedonia, I'm going to be really pissed. I'm just going to tell you I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, God.
oh Lord.
That's
So,
great.
I wanted to ask you guys before we wrap up, and I feel like I ask a lot of the younger artists this question because you have been releasing singles and songs, because that's kind of the way that people are consuming music these days is hey, give me a song, and I just want to kind of immerse myself in this song for the next 4 weeks, and then I want another song. Whereas if you release an album, I get the whole thing, and maybe I immerse myself in an album for 4 weeks, but then it's like, give me another song. And as musicians, it's a lot easier to do that than to keep recording songs constantly. So it obviously was important for you guys to record and release a full album of music. Why is it that it was important to you to release that album?
I can start on this.
I'm
think
like,
there's a lot of reasons. I think it's definitely I think I'll say that for me, I think for all of us really, like our favorite artists, I think have put out like full-length albums that you can really immerse yourself in a collection of music. And, you know, like for example, when we're hanging out at the house, we've got a really great sound system through the house. Like we'll throw on albums all the time, you know, we'll throw on like the Tame Impala album, the new one, you know, like Mac DeMarco, I mean, all kinds of artists, but I think there's just something about having a collection of work. And for us too, when we were able to hunker down for these last 7 months and write, everything feels very cohesive. And I mean, we just really feel like it wouldn't do it justice any other way than to release them as a collection of work than just singles.
it tells more of a story. It doesn't seem so discombobulated. I think that we've needed some sort of like journey situation. You know, there is something to be said about like pressing on Spotify or whatever the first song of an album and just listening through and, you know, going on with the day and having that, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the first time we've ever had a group of songs that we've written within the same time period, and it's nice to like encapsulate just, you know, what 2020 was like. And this album is so much about all the emotions and the roller coaster, you know, just the roller coaster of emotions we were all experiencing during this time. And we tried to really embrace those feelings and not like shove them off. And we just kind of were going through this at the same time together. And Spencer's having a moment. But
Wait, Spencer, I'm sorry. I have to help you here.
We just got COVID test last week, so we're fine.
Everybody's
But
this is well, isn't that the weird thing is as soon as somebody coughs, everybody's like, well, maybe
I
he's
know,
got a sore throat.
I'm
No,
trying
he
really
doesn't.
hard not to cough. I know. I don't. I promise.
But yeah, this album it's nice to like put it in a time capsule and remember what 2020 was like through this album. I think this is very cool.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah, I think that's really well put, Max, because, and that's what it is. It's a difference between kind of serving the world today and also giving yourself and your fans a snapshot of where we were at this time. And look, you can release a song and go, oh, this was my breakup song. This is my fall in love song. This is my political statement song. But if you're releasing them over 6, 7, 8 months, it's not a snapshot. It's just how I'm feeling on this particular day. Whereas this collection this is where we were at this particular time. And for the people who get a chance to immerse themselves in a full album when it's released, then they can go, oh, I remember when this album came out, I was doing this, and this, which you have a much more clear picture of when it's a collection of songs rather than just a single.
Yeah.
Roche, that was very well put. Can you put that in our bio? That was pretty good, honestly.
Type it up right now, and I'm going to attribute it to Mike Jones. I'm going to say Mike Jones, DJ of BC 101 says, I won't even put myself on there. All right, so wait, I have one final question, but I want to make sure that we get all of the business stuff done. When is this album coming out? What's the name of it? And well, I guess that's it.
It's coming out, we believe, in April, and the title is a surprise.
We're still working it up.
Well, Chelsea, I think It's a Surprise is a great name for an album, and I'm looking forward.
Nice.
No, we have a title, but we're when I say we're, these two here, it takes them a second to finalize things because there could be a moment when they wake up and they just have more ideas. So we have a title.
We have a working title, but we're, you know,
it's a secret.
We want to make sure it's right. So
yeah.
Chelsea, they're processors, Chelsea. They just need time to get right
they need a lot
with
of
the decision
time.
that's made.
These two need lots of time.
What's it? What was the title?
All right,
well, Love Letter to Mike Jones or something like that?
Yeah.
Man, all right. You know, this is.
We're getting daggers.
Throwing daggers. I like it. All right. So before I let you guys go, I have to know because you guys mentioned we are in the Chelsea Craft Room recording this, and people can see the Chelsea Craft Room behind you. I see. I don't know if that's thread behind you. By the way, before you said it was the craft room, I thought those things over Max's shoulder were poker chips. I was like, "What's that? Their gambling room? What's going on over there? They got poker chips."
They're paint bottles because I pretend to paint, so I just kind of like put them there as a reminder that I need to do something creative, and it just never works. Yes, this is our craft room, I should say, I guess. More like my office. So I do like my vocal warm-ups and stuff in here, and I get up at 6 a.m. and I come straight here. And for the month of October, I have been only watching spooky movies. So I come in here and I watch spooky movies. And
we're trying to get some bonsai trees growing in here because
this is our first bonsai
tree. Yeah.
Because there's a skylight,
awesome.
Here, so this gets like probably the best lighting in the house.
So there's lots of plants in here, but Oh yeah, here, look at our skylight.
No,
the skylight's the best part.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful looking room. Beautiful.
Nice. We'll have
nice chill. I like that.
Next time we'll give you a tour.
No, next time we'll have you over for happy hour.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah. As long as Mike isn't invited, then I will definitely.
We got to get you guys even now.
Oh God.
Exactly. I'm like a little kid. Why does he get to do it and I don't get to do it? All right. Well, listen, guys, we are moments away from playing No Other Way again on DC 101. So I'm going to let you guys go so that you can get into a car again. And listen to it.
Oh, okay. Good. Love that. Love it.
Thank you so much. This is always so much fun.
Good to see you, Roche.
And we thank you as always. It's been I love our relationship where it's, you know, you guys just pop up or we just pop up and we just hang out and it's really cool. And we're so proud of you guys for repping the DMV and so much success with No Other Way. And of course, with the album coming out next year. Shaed, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roche.
Thanks, Roche.
Bye.
Bye.